my fellow YouTubers. Today I just thought I'd talk about topic of depression, which a lot of people don't seem to like talking about nowadays. It's a big stigma that goes around. You know, people don't like to look at mental things that go wrong with people mentally. They just look at the physical. They think you're crazy if you have depression or something in today's society. Although society seems to be becoming a lot more aware about depression and how often people suffer from it. Sometimes it's not even just genetic, or it's not even just about depression being in your family. A lot of the time, like for me, for example, I was having a good day yesterday, but today I was going job hunting. I've just been in this vicious cycle looking for the right job for me, right place that's hiring. I've been looking for stable work on and off now the past 18 months. And it really badly affects your mental health when you keep getting no's. You feel like, it honestly does something to your self-esteem. When you have depression, at least for me, it feels like you can't get out of bed. You just feel, you get into this kind of, what's the word? This self-pity, this trap of self-pity. It's really unhealthy. It's not good to want people to feel sorry for yourself. You almost kind of act like you're a victim in life. And that's not a good mindset. I know it's not. You feel like no one reaches out to you, no one cares, I don't care for my friends a lot of the time. I know they're busy, I know they have their own lives, but a lot of the time you're so kind of immersed in your sadness and your depression that it just honestly feels like the whole world's against you, and you don't have a lot of friends that can relate to you, maybe what you're going through, or you haven't heard from them in months sometimes. Or for me, I lost about at least 4 to 5 friends that I like to consider good friends last year. A lot of them I knew for a long time. And honestly, these people were not there for me at my worst. They certainly don't deserve to have me there at my best. And a couple of them were. I had 2 male friends that I was close to up until last year. I was friends with both of them for 4 years. One of them I couldn't continue being friends with because he had his own issues. So I won't get into that. I've talked about that in another video. One of my friends, an old friend of mine anyway, kind of got romantically involved with him, and I had to cut ties with him because he suffers from another mental illness, speaking of mental illness, called BPD, borderline personality disorder. And then another friend of mine, I'm not too sure what happened, we just kind of drifted apart, but he was there for me when I had depression or when I was going through stuff. He could relate. It was unfortunate what happened. I didn't make time for him in my life. I had so much going on, looking for jobs, looking for work, trying to keep paying rent, paying my bills, a lot of pressure. And honestly, I've not been happy living in Toronto here. I've been not happy living here. There's been a mix. I'm trying to stay positive. I don't want this entire video to sound negative. I was in a fashion show. It worked out really well. And honestly, the only thing that's keeping me in Toronto right now is the fact that I'm working on a short film, which I'm hoping to turn into a web series or a feature film. But I just told myself, years ago, when I was younger, back in 2013, and I won't give away my age, but I told myself that when I moved to Toronto, I wasn't living in Toronto back then. I was living way east of Toronto, in the Belleville, Kingston area. Those of you who are from Canada or from Ontario might know where that is. But anyhow, it hasn't been working out for me up here, not even just job-wise. It's not even just that there aren't jobs out there, they're just not the right jobs for me. Like earlier on this year, I was hired to do door-to-door sales for like charity galas and charity events, and they actually hired me, believe it or not, and it might have been decent pay, I don't know, but I just couldn't picture myself working there. Number 1, I hate the cold. Number 2, I don't have a car to get to all these locations. I don't like the fact of banging on strangers' doors when I'm female. I'm sorry, but that's a genuine concern. And I don't know, they said it was, you're an independent contractor and you don't have to pay taxes to the government, and I don't even know how that works. I mean, how do I know they're going to pay me $700 a week like they said they would? I have no idea. And it's not even just the fact that I shouldn't feel worthless, because it's not that I haven't been hired at jobs before. I have. They're just not the right jobs for me. Maybe I might be good at that. Maybe I'm good with sales and good with people, but just because you're good at something doesn't mean you like it and you want to do it the rest of your life. Anyway, for my depression, going back to depression, you just get this feeling in your chest that you can't breathe. Your throat closes up on you. It's just this world of blackness. You know, you have a tunnel. It's like you're in this dark tunnel and you can't see the light at the end of it. You know, look at Robin Williams. He's a very sad example of people who suffer from depression. They go into comedy. For me, I love to make people laugh, and I like to be funny because it's better to laugh than to cry. And when I was at an employment agency today, doing my resume, the counselor there, or whatever you want to call it, one of the staff that worked there, she kind of just laughed at me because I was making a joke, how I couldn't figure out the formatting for the resume and everything, and I think I could figure it out, but I didn't sleep well last night, and you don't think straight when you don't sleep well, when you're overwhelmed or you're stressed, and especially if you haven't slept well. I can't figure out small things sometimes. My brain just doesn't want to cooperate. It's not that you're stupid or anything. You know, just one of those days where you're really overwhelmed and you're really stressed and you can't think straight. So it's difficult for you to concentrate. You know, symptoms of depression, you can't concentrate. You feel like you can't get out of bed half the time. For me, I don't even want to eat. I don't have the motivation to do anything. I don't even want to eat. I don't even want to cook for myself. You know, I feel like I said the whole world doesn't care about me. And, you know, there's a time back in 2015, actually, where I was going through much worse depression than I am now. I was still going into acting school. I hadn't finished it yet. I had just come back after taking 6 months off to figure out finances, and I was having health problems at the time. But and I just remember I posted a lot of these kind of depression quotes from the internet, from Google. I kind of just searched these quotes from the internet, from Google search, and I posted them on Instagram and everything. And honestly, I wasn't expecting anybody to reach out to me. You know, I wasn't doing it for attention. I just, you know, when people are depressed, you post things on the internet. I've had lots of people that I know post statuses on Facebook when they're upset or they're sad or they're depressed. It's very normal. But I posted these posts on Instagram not to get attention. I wasn't even expecting anyone to pay attention to it. And yeah, a couple of friends of mine, you know, who I hadn't seen or heard from in years, I think I still have most of them on Facebook, they reached out to me. One of my old friends, she said to me, "Why don't we go to the zoo and hang out? I haven't seen you in forever. Are you doing okay?" And it really just resonated with me that somebody, you know, who I hadn't seen in years, reached out to me, one of my old friends from high school, actually, and she took the time to ask me what was wrong. You know, it really made me feel that people care a lot more than you realize. We live in a very self-centered world. It's just the way society is structured. Maybe sometimes they don't always mean to be selfish, but lots of people nowadays, they don't ask you how you're doing. We're so immersed in our own world and our own problems that we don't often reach out to people to ask them how their day is going, or to ask them what's wrong if they post something on Facebook. So, and I think I made about, I don't know, like 6 to 8 posts on Instagram saying how depressed I was. I think I deleted them because I didn't want them up there anymore. I was kind of embarrassed about it. And then somebody else, I think from my high school, I don't vaguely remember him, but he just said, "I know I don't know you, but is everything okay?" And like, even if it's just a kind thought from a stranger or somebody out there, it really makes your day better, you know? You just get out of your mood, you get out of yourself, you just feel a lot better about yourself, honestly. So, yeah, I hope this video helps people who are going through depression. Those of you who can relate, you know, sometimes it's just your circumstances, it's situational. You know, it's not always about the chemicals in your brain or whatever. Other times it just feels like you're going through this vicious cycle and getting nowhere, and there's honestly no point in continuing to look for jobs that aren't right for you. I'm looking into self-employment, looking for other people to hire me, you know, regardless of my experience, whether it be whatever it is. There's also a lot wrong with the labor laws here where I live, but honestly, you know, it's not good for your mental health to keep worrying about money and worrying about when the next job's going to come, and have this fear that you're going to lose the job or that it's temporary. What am I going to do next? It's just not healthy. You have to stay in the present moment. You just have to think, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do today to get out of depression? Okay, I'm going to get out of bed. I'm going to set my alarm for maybe 9 or 10 in the morning. If I don't sleep, like for me, I'm terrible at getting up early. It is very hard for me to drag myself out of bed when I have crippling depression, or I'll just feel exhausted for no reasons. Like, why am I so tired? It's sunny outside. It's a nice day. It's summer coming up. I should not be depressed during the summer. I should not be worrying about jobs during the summer. You know, I should be, if this was wintertime, I'd be a hell of a lot worse. I've been jobless during the winter, and it is hell. you live in Canada, you live in one of the coldest countries in the world. I think we're even colder than Russia. I've never been to Russia. But if you're Russian and you're watching this, you tell me, even New York State is a little bit warmer than Ontario, where I'm from. So, anyway, for those of you who are suffering from depression, don't give up hope. I just hope that I can help some people who are going through this. When I'm depressed, I often just look up news stories, as depressing as that sounds, or documentaries about people that have gone through worse things than me, to remind myself that there's always somebody who's in a worse situation than you, or who is in, like, the exact same situation as you. And, you never know. We live in a world of, over 7 billion people now? There's always going to be somebody worse off than you. Thank God, like, I'm looking at the bright side. I'm not in a wheelchair. I'm not blind. I'm not deaf. My parents aren't dead. You just have to always look at the positives and everything. There's always, like, a silver lining to every cloud. But, anyway, point being is, when I'm depressed, I watch documentaries just a few weeks ago when I was trying to get my mind off myself. Again, try not to be selfish, because depression makes you selfish, if that makes sense. It can make you really selfish. You focus so much on your own problems that you don't even think about anybody else. That's what's really crappy about it. So I watched a documentary, one of them all about these horrible situations in the States and everything. I don't know the laws in the States, but one of few girls that are around my age said they'd had a horrible year in 2009. They were locked up in jail, Rachel Wade being one of them. I watched a couple of others. Just all these girls that were, like, in the same generation as me, the same gap as me, and they were in the States. And yeah, a couple of them faced jail time for something that I honestly think that they shouldn't have gone to jail for. And it just made me realize, well, you're not in jail. You can still be, a contributing, productive member to society. At least you're not like Rachel Wade. And I'll get into another video about her. My sympathy and my compassion goes out to her. She must be very depressed right now. She is in a much worse situation than me. She's older than me. Again, not trying to give away my age, but yeah, and I saw what happened to her, and just, you go through these countless stories about the kind of world that we live in, and you always think there's always going to be somebody worse off than you. Your situation right now might look bad, and it might feel like it's permanent because it's been ongoing for so long that you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But eventually, something good is going to happen. You just have to be really patient. I'm not the most patient person in the world. I'll admit it. I can be very impatient when it comes to certain things, especially job hunting and different things. But I wish I'd been more patient, and because I wasn't patient, I paid a price for it because I didn't wait. So maybe this is just a way of my patience being tested, who knows. I just hope that this inspired people who are suffering from depression. And if you can relate to this video or anywhere, you have a friend or family member who's suffering from chronic depression, feel free to give me a shout out on YouTube. I'll give out my email perhaps, and we can chat about this. And just remember, a kind word always helps to brighten up somebody's day, even if you don't know someone. I mean, sometimes I've done this on Facebook, someone that I've only met once or twice. I didn't know them really well. Like, I messaged them saying, are you okay? Is everything good? I see that you're upset on Facebook, and I don't know, sometimes it feels like people don't appreciate when you reach out to them because they're super busy, and they say, well, thanks, no, I'm not doing too well, but thanks for asking, I'm kind of in class right now, I'm busy. And I'm like, okay, well, I tried to reach out, I was trying to be nice, I know you don't know me, but I know what it feels like. So I have a lot of empathy for those people who are going through things in their life, or if they're depressed or whatever, even if I don't know somebody super well. Because, like I said, back in 2015, I probably went through the worst depression of my life. I forced myself to go to school. I did not want to go to school, believe me. When I was coming back from the bus, on my way back from college, I just, felt like I was going to burst into tears on the bus. I couldn't cry in public. I don't like crying in public. That's part of being an actress. You have to be vulnerable on camera, and you use your emotions into that character, especially when you're going through depression. But I just remember I went to my apartment and I bawled my eyes out and I laid in bed for the rest of the day. I couldn't get out of bed right after school. School was the only thing that distracted me. And I felt like if somebody said one word to me to set me off, like I was going to burst into tears. Especially if you're a woman and you're going through, you're PMSing or whatever, it just makes it so much worse. And I'm like, you know, especially if you're female. But I guess guys have something different altogether. I wouldn't know, of course, I'm not a guy, but anyway, I just hope this video inspired people. Just remember, your situation's not going to be forever, and you will get out of it. I'm going to go into a couple more videos later on about a friend of mine who took her life, an old friend of mine many years ago who took her life because of depression, and as depressing as that sounds. I don't want this entire channel to be negative, don't get me wrong. I want it to be comedy and laughing at jokes and stuff, and you know, there's happy times in life too. It's not always going to be this way. So anyway, just feel free to comment below. I haven't had the motivation to edit a lot of my videos lately because my computer needs clearing out. My Mac is like only has 21 gigs left, and it's really slow right now because of it. So I'm probably just going to post this on YouTube the best that I can, so that I can at least get a video in every week. This is my goal now, since I am currently not working at the moment, and I'm looking for some source of income. Like I said, I'm looking outside of the box, just like Walt Disney did. So yeah, thanks so much again for watching, and if this video inspired you in any way, please feel free to share. I'm over 300 subscribers right now. I really appreciate anybody who subscribes. I want to get up to 500 subscribers. That's only less than 200 subscribers away, and then I want to get up to 1,000 eventually and reach that mark with YouTube's algorithms and everything. So I can, you know, everyone wants to make money off YouTube. Everyone wants to become self-employed. A lot of people want to become self-employed. So thanks for the support, and again, if this video benefited you in any way, thumbs up, thumbs down, whichever. Thanks so much for watching, and there are better times to come. Believe me, I know from experience.